Hey guys, William Murphy here and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. If you are new around here, please consider subscribing so you don't miss on any future content and hopefully you'll learn something along the way. So in today's episode on this classic mini rebuild, I'm going to be doing the valve clearances and the valve adjustment.
I know you don't love me like you say you do.
One of the things that Alex complained about when he had this car on the road was it was very noisy and very tappy. Now, one of the main things I believe it was to do with the exhaust gap. So in between the manifold and the downpipe there was a blowing exhaust. So today we're going to find out whether the valve clearances are correct or whether they need adjusting, and obviously adjust them up and show you how to do it. So what tools are you going to need for this job? Well, you're going to need a 13 or a ½ inch spanner, ½ inch preferably because you don't want to round nuts off. That is to go onto the locking nut and that's to lock that down and obviously release it as well. Next up is a screwdriver, a flat blade. On the adjusters here, they work on a up and down like a screw thread. So as you adjust them down, it creates a bigger gap. If you adjust them up, it creates a smaller gap. Also, you're going to need a set of feeler gauges. Now for the standard 998s and standard 1275, they are the same across the board, which is set to, where is it? There we go, let's see if we can focus in on this. This is set to 12 thou. Now what that means is that is 12 thousandths of an inch. So 12 thou is your standard across the board. When you have roller rockers or modified rockers, then you want to start looking into different gappings. But for now, we're going to focus on the standard setup, and that's what we need. Also, what we're going to require for this job is a replacement rocker cover gasket. In this case, we've got a brand new silicone one, which is in the boot. I will get that later. And obviously, the rocker cover itself. It's a really straightforward job, and I think it should come in a part of everyone's maybe yearly maintenance plan. Oil filter, oil, spark plugs, points and condenser, and valve clearance gaps. So let's talk in and let's just get on with it and show you exactly how to do it, and hopefully you'll be able to take on board what the comments are and make your mini run much better. So let's get stuck in. So next up we're going to adjust the rockers. Now I've got my handy book up there just to make sure I'm doing it right. So you adjust this as number 1 is fully open, which means it's at the lowest point. So number 8 will be on the rock. Then you do number 2 at the lowest point, number 7 will be on the rock, number 3 at the lowest point, and so on and so forth. So when I get to from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 8, once 8's down, I'll be adjusting number 1, and then they'll all be adjusted fully. So this is pretty good. So number 1 is at the lowest point, number 8 is on the rock. Taking my gauge, because it's a standard 1275, it's a 12 thou, and I'll just adjust that. So that is, I'm pretty happy with that. There's a bit of resistance within there, not too much, it's not too loose, not too tight, so I can move on to number 2. So number 2 you can see is now going down. That's not going to get on any further. So now number 7 is on the rock. Using my feeler gauge again, put it in and there's loads of slack in there. So I can oh, that's tight. ½ inch spanner. It's loose. So I want my spanner on the nut, screwdriver on the adjuster, and then my feeler gauge in the hole. And I'll adjust down until I feel the resistance. Too far to get stuck, so I think that is about right there. Just tighten that up. Make sure that I'm happy. Maybe you could do it a little bit tighter, to be honest. There's resistance there now. Happy with that. Moving on. So I'm on to 3 and 6. That is a huge gap. Oh my. So I want it to be 12 thou. Let's have a look and see if we can work out what the gap is. If I start with my largest gap, which is 30 thou, that's too big. So I want it to be 12 thou, and that gap there is 22 thou. Wow. That's why it's tapping. Okay, so now we got to the first 4 done. We're then going to swap over and we're going to start putting down these, adjusting these 4. So, quick tip for you, if this is really tight to get hold of, take a second spanner, using the open-ended side of it, hook it over, and then a bit of extra leverage will get that nut undone. What you don't want to do is slip, crack your knuckles on here or any of these studs, because that really hurts. That is painful. No. That hurt. That hurt a lot. Ah. Right, done. So there we have how to adjust the valve clearances. So it's a nice simple setup. All you're going to need is a set of feeler gauges, a screwdriver, and wherever it's gone, a 1/2 inch spanner. So it's pretty straightforward, just making sure that the valves are fully opened, and you adjust the one that's obviously the opposite. So they go in, I think what's it called, a rule of 9. So have number 1 fully open, you adjust number 8, because 1 and 8 is 9, 2 and 7 is 9, 3 and 6 is 9, 4 and 5 is 9, and so on and so forth. So that's the rule of 9. It's really quite straightforward, and yeah, hopefully this will obviously reduce that tapping noises and be a lot more enjoyable to drive once this bit's complete. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button, comment down below, and if you can, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out any future content. That's it from me. I'm going to continue with this car for now, and I'll see you in the next video.